Hello, it's me, Robin, with Simple Food, Simple Life. Happy Sunday! We're going to get in the kitchen today and we're going to make Sunday dinner. I'm so glad you're with me today because we're going to do Sunday dinner. All right, I've got my cast iron skillet here and I am heating my oven to 375 degrees to start. Okay, so I'm going to grab the chicken quarters. So what I'm doing is I put just a little spray of spurts of oil in there, not much, because we're going to rely on the chicken skin for the oil, for the fat in our dish. So the first thing I'm going to do, as you can see, I'm just going to season them. Turn them over. And I'm not trimming these. If I were making them for, let's say, a different application, I would probably trim them, but I'm not doing that. And then I would use the fat and the trimmings to make broth out of. But I'm going to keep that fat on there this time. And I'm laying the quarters down on the pan, skin side down, because I'm going to put them in the oven and I'm going to let them brown at 375 degrees. And I'm going to flip them over and then let them brown on the other side. And then what will happen is some of that fat will start rendering the fat from the skin. And so I'm going to do that. And then once it's browned, I'll show you what we're going to do next, because we're going to turn the heat down to 350 degrees and then we're going to put in our other ingredients. But we want to get a nice browning on there. I could do this on top of the stove, but I don't want to. I just want to do it all in the oven. The chicken is getting a nice brown color on it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the potatoes and I'm going to, you can see they cost 56 cents for the can. I'm going to put the potatoes in. I'm going to put the potatoes around the chicken. Now, these are very small potatoes. They're about the size of what we would call new potatoes. But I'm going to put them around the chicken. So there's like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 potatoes. And I'm going to put the chicken back in the oven and I'm going to let these potatoes get a little brown color on them. And then we will be back. So remember, potatoes cost 56 cents. I broke down the price of the chicken. This chicken cost, with both quarters and considering what I paid for the chicken, this chicken cost $1.80 for both of these. Okay? Alright, I'm going to put these in the oven. You see the fat that came off that chicken? Plenty of fat. Now then, you can see that the potatoes have a little browning on them. And honestly, I turned the broiler on this for just a few minutes to hasten the browning. Now, this is what I've done. I've taken because I prefer to do it this way, I think it mixes up better. I've taken the cream of mushroom soup, which cost 58 cents, and the can of mushrooms, which cost 75 cents, and these mushrooms did not get drained. I used the juice off of the mushrooms, and instead of using a full can of milk, I used a partial can of milk. And so it's all mixed up in there together, and I put a sprinkle of dried parsley there. And you can see that's still pretty thick, isn't it? Okay? All right. So that's the cost of those items. The milk I used cost about 12 cents. And I think that's it. Now then, if you want to use a cream of celery, cream of chicken, other cream soups, by all means, go ahead. There's a golden mushroom soup, which is pretty good as well. So you can go ahead and use whatever cream soup you like. Also, if you want to, you can put in some onion or dried onion or garlic, whatever seasonings you prefer. Maybe you've got a house seasoning that you really like, put that in, okay? I have got this all mixed up. I'm going to put a little pepper in there. And I think it might be salty enough, so I'm going to just wait on that. And I'm going to pour this on the chicken. Now, if you're doing more chicken, use a bigger pan. If you are, you can use a roasting pan for this as well. If you'd rather brown your chicken on top of the stove, then do that. That's fine. It's just, honestly, whatever you want to do. I don't want to leave anything behind here. There. All right. Now then, the potatoes are there, and if you want to use an extra can of potatoes, go ahead. If you want to use fresh potatoes, do that. You can treat them the exact same way. I would suggest that you cut up your potatoes into maybe these size pieces. That makes them cook a little easier and faster. So, this is going in the oven. I'm going to make the deviled eggs. And the deviled eggs cost me, to make the deviled eggs, hold on here, I'm going to check because I wrote it down. Just to be sure. The deviled eggs are, I have 4 eggs, boiled eggs. That becomes 8 deviled eggs, and that cost me 40 cents. And I'm not including the little bit of mayonnaise, mustard, sugar, etc. that goes in the filling. That's pretty small. So far, I think we're doing pretty good. And a correction on the chicken, it's $1.70 for this whole amount. Okay? Now, your cost is going to vary depending on how much your ingredients cost you, right? And I do have my can of green beans, which I will just heat in a saucepan on the back of the stove. You can use whatever sides you like. Alrighty, we'll be back. This is not done yet, but I wanted to give you an idea of what it looks like. And I wanted to take out my big spoon and just spoon some of this sauce over the top of the chicken so that the chicken doesn't get too brown. But could you see yourself making this? You see how easy this would be to make? And you don't have to use chicken quarters or legs or thighs, although those are usually much cheaper. You can use chicken breasts if you want to. You can use a whole cut up chicken. You can do this with pork chops. I've done it with pork chops. And you can also, if you like, you can make a nice big hamburger patties. I would shape them like an oval and make them a little extra thick. Brown them off in the skillet and put the exact same sauce over them. And they are delicious. Make like a hamburger steak, only hamburger steak supreme, or hamburger steak glorified. A glorified hamburger steak. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, I'm going to put this back in the oven and let it continue to bake. Now, I would like to tell you how long this takes, but honestly, I don't know. It takes however long it takes until the chicken is very tender, and of course the juices run clean from your chicken. Now, what I usually do, especially when I'm not sure about the timing of things, I will set my timer to say 20 or 30 minutes, and then that reminds me to come back and check on the chicken and just make sure that I don't forget about it, because we don't want to do that. Sometimes we get busy. So I just turn the timer on as a little reminder to me to come back and take a look at it and see how it's doing. All right, back in the oven it goes. This chicken is nicely done, I do believe. So, I'm going to cut a little bit of this in the thick part. It's very nice. It's very tender. Bring you closer here. Very nice. Very, very tender. Now, I want you to appreciate what this glorified chicken has become. The potatoes, now remember they're canned potatoes, have this nice golden brown to them. And the chicken is nicely browned. You can see the mushrooms have cooked down. These are just the canned mushrooms. I would like for you to be able to appreciate the beauty of this dish that came from humble chicken quarters, which is just legs and thighs, some canned potatoes, other canned ingredients, the cream of mushroom soup, the canned mushrooms. I just want you to appreciate what this looks like and what this is going to taste like. This is really going to be delicious. And you can see here, some of those mushrooms have fallen down. See the little bits of the green flecks of the parsley. It's very, very beautiful. I'm going to dip my fork in here because I want to kind of taste this gravy a little bit. This is extremely hot. It's lovely. And I mean very lovely. So you can see that depending on the appetites, you can feed 2 people, you can feed 4 people. You can add some extra potatoes, which would round out the meal. 1 more can of potatoes. What did I say? 58 cents, 56 cents? Would make this beautiful. So don't underestimate the beauty of the canned potato, okay? And then, of course, I'm going to serve this with some green beans, some nice hot green beans. I'm going to serve it with some deviled eggs and to round out my meal. Now, imagine what you can put as far as sides are concerned with this beautiful glorified chicken. Isn't it wonderful? I just have to appreciate it. It's a beautiful, beautiful meal. And this meal, the entire meal, including the deviled eggs, the green beans, everything for this whole entire meal is $4.60. That's what I paid for it. I don't think that's terrible at all, do you? I think that's pretty nice. All right, that's it. Listen, if you or anyone you know has ever had that tradition of Sunday dinner, let me know in the comments below. I love reading your comments. And just tell me in different ways, maybe you think that you might be able to use this method of glorification. All right, listen, I love you guys. I really do. I'm so appreciative of all of you. And I can't express to you how much it means whenever you take the time to watch one of my videos, even if they're silly. All right, I love ya. I will see you next time. And as always, little is much when God is in it. Okay? All right, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Because you know what? Other people might want to know how to do this stuff. Okay, I love ya. Bye-bye.